Hi, everyone, and welcome. It's wonderful to have you join us today, and it shows the deep interest that there is in this topic. Today, we do want to explore the trajectory, I suppose, into the justice system. I want to introduce a short video from a young man named Aaron, who became involved with the criminal justice system after falling in with a crowd that wasn't good for him, making bad choices, etc.
First, it was just hanging around with people doing graffiti. It was so cool to steal cars, or it was really cool to go into Coles Liquor and steal this 10-pack of alcohol. It was just the way that we all brought up and the way we live. The reason why I ended up in jail was because of my drug addiction and my choices that I was making. I was using really heavily on the methamphetamines, and I was choosing dumb decisions. Now I understand the difference between that life and this life. This life is, you can have so much fun, in crime and drug life, but it all goes nowhere. As much as I was hurting everyone else in the community and my family and my friends, I was hurting myself most of all. Now I'm a year and 19 days clean, and I'm loving life. I'm one of multiple people who have this kind of journey. Yeah, we did make some dumb choices and bad decisions, but it's pretty hard to change, and it's really difficult for a new change. But if I keep living the way I'm living, my future is just going to be bright as anything.
You can see that Aaron is giving us just one example of the trajectory into the criminal justice system. And today we'll have an opportunity to hear a bit more what other characteristics that are shared, as well as the individual features that might lead a young person to be in custody, to actually be doing harm to themselves and to others.
Society recognises children are vulnerable at the age of 10 because they haven't got the capacity to make informed decisions. The criminal justice system just flies in the face of that.
There's often developmental delay, so they haven't maybe achieved the same milestones as other people might have at certain ages, through no fault of their own, but that can lead to issues with impulsivity and poor decision making, and often people seeing a 15-year-old and having a certain expectation of them when they're actually developmentally, maybe in some areas, sort of younger than that chronological age.
The lack of education, it's a big barrier. The disrupted education has been sometimes dating back to primary school age.
We are locking up children, most of whom have an additional disability or mental health illness, which can be causing them to express behaviours which bring them in contact with the police.
They don't know what's happening for themselves. We don't know what's happening for them. So it's really hard to then support effective responses to that without the information.
The cohort that we see in our program, generally speaking, these young people are extremely disconnected.
What these young people are lacking in a big way is positive, consistent, safe relationships.
A lot of the time, our young people don't have a strong family involvement, and there is that lack of community and connections.
Trauma affects your brain. That affected brain again makes you more impulsive and less able to think through the consequences of your actions.
That trauma impacts someone's ability to respond to things, and often it's they are triggered and upset by other people and their behaviours.
There is a strong correlation between involvement in the out-of-home care system and involvement in the youth justice system.
People working in out-of-home care are amazing, but the system involves constant change. There's a lack of stability. The rug is almost constantly pulled from under young people's feet.
Vic Road says you haven't got the capacity to cross the road safely until you're 12. So that capacity to plan and do things safely is really not developed.
I even remember an example of a young person when in a residential unit getting a sensory assessment, which I'd never really previously heard of, but he had so many sensory issues that were impacting on his ability to regulate himself. But it was only when we had extra funding and extra resources that assessment was even considered. But that was life-changing for him, to say there's reasons I get agitated and things, and it's to do with the environment and it's to do with the amount of stimulation, even the clothes he was wearing. There's a lot that can be done other than a punitive response.
Some people, will think someone's done the wrong thing. That's it. Why, this is called worth a second chance. How many chances do you give? Why should we give a second chance and maybe a third and a fourth?
There's a huge misconception out there that, once a criminal, always a criminal. It's not the case. If we can get in and start working with young people, there's always opportunity for change. There's opportunity for growth. I think community need to let young people in and back in as well without judgment. And they want people to listen to them and hear their stories and know a bit about their history to understand who they are and to be able to support them to be in the community again.